Hi guys, welcome to the live stream of why I'm actually taking the game specialist class, and this is technically a introduction on Ubisoft, and actually this is my main goal, and I definitely want to be in Ubisoft technology. You see, this is why Ubisoft is fun. I'm gonna show you a video and you should see it.
Black and white city, city walk, city walk. She could be dancing down the hall, dancing down the hall. Or painting city walls, or painting city walls. We got them eyes on us, they can't hide us. Ooh, it's so, so good.
Thank you very much. M2, please.
She could be like a city walk, city walk. Walking 100 feet tall, 100 feet tall. She got me going, 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 going. She got me going, 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 going. We're turning heads, we're turning heads, we're turning heads. Yeah, we're turning heads, we're turning heads, we're turning heads. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Ain't nothing can stop us now. Ain't nothing can stop us now. Nothing can stop us now.
And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, I am actually going for the game specialist class. Game specialist is not an easy goal, but I definitely want to try out, and hopefully I can pass with no problem. And I really want something that actually can upload afloat of my interest, and game specialist happens to be a part of Ubisoft performs, and this is how Ubisoft look. And if you haven't heard of Ubisoft, there is two video I'm gonna pull up real quick, and hopefully I can, yeah, this is one of it.
How did I get into video games?
Funny story.
A lucky coincidence?
It was destiny.
This is the most cliche story of all. I liked playing video games. I got into video games.
I've worked in marketing for my entire career, but primarily in tech companies. Even though I'm not a hardcore gamer like some around here.
6 years old, started programming. 6 years old, played my first game. It was like, this is what I'm going to do.
Even if I don't have a video game experience, I could be an interesting profile for the company.
I studied Chinese language. Myself, I'm not a hardcore player, but I really like this environment that people are pure and creative.
So I did my master's in creative writing. Alors j'ai fait des études de psychologie.
Mechanical engineering.
I have studied 3D, so I am actually a 3D texture artist who got into management.
After college, I had the opportunity to grab an internship at Ubisoft. I've stayed as a gameplay programmer afterwards.
I went to game design school because I knew from the start that I wanted to work with games. I started working in the industry as a QA tester.
I started in the late 19s as a game tester.
I started as a tester because I think all developers almost start as testers. It's very common. And then I was hired. I was a scripter at first, then became a level designer, mission designer, and after that, team lead, assistant level design director. And yeah, now we're here.
I got this opportunity through a friend, actually.
A good friend of mine joined. After some time, he said, "Man, it's awesome here. You should come."
I did something completely different in the past. I'm actually a learned and did this for many years, endurance and finance advisor. So I did a job in a suit, right?
J'ai commencé il y a bien longtemps en télévision.
J'ai lancé dans le domaine du cinéma.
I used to work in medical imaging as a project manager, and project management is what allowed me to get my foot in the door here at Ubisoft.
I actually left an IT company for a gaming company, so that's it. I loved gaming since the very start.
So my background is actually in drinks. Well, I've always loved gaming and I've always wanted to get into gaming, but there's just never been that opportunity. I was just lucky enough to apply for this job at Ubisoft and it all just fell into place in a really good way.
It's just been a year and it's been hell of a ride.
I actually have to decide what you're going to do now.
Okay, I want to do something different. This is not what I want to do. This is interesting, but I would like to try something else. Why not video games? You're young, you can try it.
What I have to lose?
And they said, okay, you're hired.
If you want to join and you think you have the right skills, by all means, join.
And that is also another video from Ubisoft recruitment video. And I myself, in terms of out of a million chance, I don't know how many will actually go to the edge of how game specialists work, and I myself really feel the pinch, you know. It's like someone pinch me and tell me, "Hey, wake up! This is not your thing." And I was like, "Fuck, man! I really love Ubisoft, and it's not something I want, is something that I actually have interest in a company." And Ubisoft has been what you call it, every teenage dream and some young adult dreams and interests. And I've been playing Ubisoft game ever since the Far Cry franchise, Assassin's Creed franchise, and Tom Clancy, Ghost Recon, Valorant, anything that happens to be either of those titles, I have a copy. Like, if you ask me, I definitely go for Ubisoft game. I'm not a big fan of EA. I'm not a big fan of Activision, but Activision is the one that sponsored me in Call of Duty Mobile. So this is one of the opportunity that I'm gonna learn as a game specialist, upcoming classes, and I think it's very in-depth, that it's very fun at Ubisoft, you know, that kind of thing that everybody wants. And this is one of the video that I haven't had a chance to show you guys. This is how they convince their parents and everything.
I remember the day I got home and I told my dad to sit down, and then I told him I wanted to switch from a career in banking to a career in video games. I had to calm him down a bit. It took him a good few months to really come to terms with the decision.
That's a good question.
Oh man.
I didn't know I had to tell my parents. So I didn't tell my parents. It's very hard for me to tell my family what it is that I actually do. Like they have somehow in their minds, they think that I'm playing computer games all day.
I was taking my studies in computer engineering, and I told my dad I really wanted to go to school as an animator. And he said, no way, you're not doing that, you're finishing your studies.
I was in my 3rd year of law school when I told my parents I wanted to work at Ubisoft. And they were like, what's that? Is that a law firm? And I said, no, it's a video game company. And they were like, oh, I've never heard of it.
They were really kind of shocked because this is not a real, let's say, job. They didn't think this was a thing.
My dad was afraid. They are Cambodian Civil War refugees. Their only goal was to earn money and just enough money to have a better life. He told me, honestly, I didn't believe in you at all, but today I'm proud of you.
My mother started me making video games when I was about 8 years old. She learned how to program herself and then taught me how to do it. So I was making my own video games ever since I was a little kid.
My house burned down when I was 9 years old, and we were left with nothing, no toys, nothing between the 3 brothers. And we would use catalogs and basically bring to life role-playing games using, pen and paper and our own imagination. From there, my mom kind of knew that I was going to explore something from that creative side, and she's always been super supportive of that endeavor.
My mom was super supportive. She just gave me a thumbs up and said, go for it. My dad was supportive as well, but he thought it was super childish and that I'm gonna grow out of it one day. So now I'm 37 and I still haven't grown out of it, and I think he's very happy for me. He sees how happy I am.
You know, sometimes she'll try and tell her friends, oh, my daughter writes for video games, and they'll say, oh, what's that like? And she'll say, I think she makes the words come out of the characters' mouths, so, bless her. She supports me, and that's all that matters.
Now he's happy for me, so I'm glad I did and didn't hide it. Don't hide it.
Explain to them that being in the video game industry isn't just about sitting there all day long playing video games.
If your parents support you, then that's great for you. But if your parents don't support you, you should just tell them anyway, because I think that having your dream job is worth the risk.
Just be honest, I think. Let them know that you're passionate about it. Let them know why you want to go into this.
Don't choose a career with your brain, but choose something that your heart tells you to do, even though that sounds really cheesy.
Hearing them is actually telling me this is the right choice, and this is the point that I decided to join Ubisoft. If I can pass the game specialist program class that I'm going to be there, and got 2 more videos that I'm gonna show, and trust me, it's worth a look. This is what I'm actually aiming to go in. The Ubisoft graduation program.
GPP is the one that you see probably running around and talking the most to all the different people on the floor.
It's a job that could almost take you to all the different disciplines of programming. You go from being on the tool side, you go and interact with the UI, you go and interact with kind of the entire engine.
As a GPP, you get a great chance to be involved in the design decisions making the game, because you're working directly with the game designers and level designers. So you're working back and forth iteratively with them as they test out their ideas, and you have a chance to contribute your ideas in that process also.
As a GPP, I have to always challenge the game designer I'm working with. For instance, if I'm working on the camera with him, I will be always there to say that the camera is moving too fast, it's not precise enough.
So we program in C++ mainly, and we have some other languages which help us as well. And what we do is basically make small changes in our code and then apply those changes to see how it's affected the game. We're also able to change values like properties such as speed, acceleration, and the designers can edit these on the fly so that they can see what's happening. Their changes are reflected immediately in the game.
So you got to make sure that the animations that you get, the design that you get, all that stuff are solid and that you like them enough to make them come to life in a way that you are satisfied with. So when you play the game, you're like, yeah, this feature rocks, like this is what I want in the game. You can come up with an idea for the game and implement it, and if it worked out, it would actually make the game. So me and an animator came up with an idea to stab a player with a bayonet and then shoot afterwards. So we did a little prototype. He made some animations, I made them work in a little gym, and the game actually shipped with that feature.
As a GPP, you have to keep in mind that each line of code you wrote will be directly under the finger of a player. So that's kind of frightening, but kind of challenging too.
My job is to make sure they have a very comfortable experience playing our game, and also they have a frustration-free experience, especially when they interact in our game environment.
As a gameplay and AI programmer, it's your responsibility to bring the world to life. So it's about the way that the characters behave, the way that the characters move, the way that the characters interact with each other and with the player.
One of the ways that we do this is really by coupling gameplay programming with AI programming together. So if I take an example on one of the last games that we just completed now is Assassin's Creed Unity, and one of our mandates was to really boost the AI of all the crowd, all the NPCs in the game.
We use AI a lot in our game. So even a basic character movement, moving from point A to point B, requires basic AI like pathfinding.
I think we're just starting to look at what's possible in the world of game AI, and there's really interesting research going on in universities around the world, and it's going to be a really exciting place to be in the next 10 to 15 years.
What can I do that's systemic, something that's procedural, something that, again, the new generation of consoles will allow me to develop that I wasn't able to do before. So I think it's a really exciting time right now to be a gameplay programmer, because there's so much possibilities right now of what we could do that we couldn't do in the past.
End of the day, you still have to be a gamer at heart. You still be playing games often. You still have to be keeping track with what are the latest games. You still have to actively play all the latest games. If you are a real gamer, those trends will come to you naturally.
Every single game I play, I take something from it. I learn something. I learn kind of designs and how I can implement this should I ever need to.
So yeah, that is what I'm actually aiming for, the graduate program. So what this graduate program is technically aim your job into Ubisoft and learn as you go. And what they did is actually every year they do this recruiting, and this year I missed my opportunity because I wasn't so active online, but now hopefully by next year I can get into the Ubisoft graduate program. But this graduate program is difficult to get in. As you can see, they even specialize what kind of study they go to: university, polytechnic, and a lot of crazy scholarship that you need to go through, like non-stop study. So my only chance of getting into this graduate program is through game specialists. I don't know how, but 6 months time the road, 6 months time down the road, I don't know if I can even manage. So let's see how it goes. And this is the last video. This is actually from Ubisoft Singapore. This happened 3 years ago, but it pushed me until this year.
My most memorable moment in the studio is actually the first day of the opening of Ubisoft Singapore. We've always felt like a family, and I think that feeling has stayed all the way till today.
As a studio, we've developed two sets of expertise. The first is on AAA, working on games like Assassin's Creed, and the second is games as a service.
So we're bringing all that experience to the table and bringing Skull and Bones to life.
I mean, not every developer gets a chance to say that they work on a completely original new IP in their entire career.
I think the most interesting part of our job as video game developers is we get to enjoy and explore magic. Ubisoft Singapore is in a place where there are all these different cultures and different people from different places of different experiences gathered in this one studio.
All the people who work here are very, very talented, and everybody is learning from each other.
We push each other very hard, but we always remember that, hey, we are here to build what we all love.
Singapore is an amazing place. It's the heart of Asia. You can explore lots of different cultures right at your doorstep. In just a couple of hours, you can be in Philippines, Malaysia, Cambodia, Thailand.
Singapore in general is a talent magnet because of its strategic location, and the bar is being raised every year.
I personally love sharing whatever that I've learned here at Ubisoft with the next generation of developers.
We organize events outside the studio like the art exhibition to inspire the community.
Probably my most memorable moment was when we put the whole audio department together and formed a band and played a music set at the Black Flag release party.
I'm also part of the music club, and yeah, we just get together and jam.
We have all sorts of crazy, hilarious, insane moments together, which makes this an unforgettable experience.
If your dream is to work in video games, don't let anyone stop you.
Come join us. Don't say Bojo.
Don't mind the language, but this is so-called Singapore language. But let's just say I'm actually seen all this video, and I was thinking why I am not have the chance of getting into Ubisoft lately, and why I kept failing at each interview or never get selected as shortlisted is technically the skill set that I have previously in IT industry is way different, and this is my last chance of getting into is go through game specialist educating, and for the next 6 months it's gonna be tough, and it's not something that I would say everyone can do, but if you have the skills and you have the very urge of gaming and a sort of gaming, you can actually choose to join Ubisoft, and Ubisoft is a opportunity to the person and inspiring people to go through events. And I actually talked to some of the Ubisoft Singapore employee, and they are very friendly. When I was there, I was the game tester in 2018, and back then they only come around with Skull and Bones, and that was the thing. I cannot discuss back then how the actual thing works, but we actually have the chance to early test out the black and white version of the Skull and Bone and the communication device, and not the final stage of the program, but definitely somewhere middle of processing. And the game was announced, so I can fully disclosure that the game I actually game test back then is Sky and Bones, one of the game title. And what really happened is they have no idea when it's going to be releasing the Sky and Bone. I know is like uh they need to announce again on Steam when is the releasing date. I cannot give you any specific date because I have no idea why they decided to change the marology of the game and the releasing date. Back then they said it's December of 2018, but now up to somewhere to 2021 and it's still no news. But hopefully by this year end we will see Far Cry 6 and bunch of new innovative video game that I'm not sure on, but I know sometimes people get itchy-handed to go on Ubisoft to find out, hey, what's the next thing in the title to come, and I am one of them. I actually tested quite a few video game from Ubisoft. This is why I say Ubisoft is the best studio, and my main goal and how my infrastructure like a tree route, like the tree structure from point A to point Z, and there's a lot of things going on, and within these 6 months I will be doing 22 crazy crazy study, like very intense ones, like hold on, give me a sec, let me drag up. I actually have it with me right now is the program structure, and honestly I don't know. First one will be media publishing and marketplace project management. Number two will be project management for VR game fashion and intellectual property management on number three. Number four will be gamification for LMSS with model batch. And number five will be IRL game fashion with open batch. And number six will be online communication with companies. Game press, gimme press. Okay, that would be very a little bit in depth. But I will be going to the orientation tomorrow, so I will know what to expect. And this will be number six is online game fashion with game press again, and number seven, tool and workflow setup. That will be very good. I will be actually using the tool that Ubisoft will be doing. And number 8 will be multi-layer image editing, which is kind of like YouTube. This is what I'm actually doing in YouTube. And number 9 will be vector graphic. Number 10 will be 2D animation. 11 is audio editing, which I'm also currently doing. And 12 is video editing. And 13 will be SketchUp 14 will be Blender 3D. 15 is Unity 3D. 16 will be Play Structure and 3D Hive. 17 will be Building Interactive 3D, which is somewhere Ubisoft work. And number 18 will be Mini Game System. 19 will be Advanced 3D Concept. And number 20 will be VR Game and Game Vision Publishing and Distribution. 21 will be Applied VR and Game Specialist Capstone Pro. And number 22 will be Applied for VR Game Specialist Capstone Pro Project 1 and 2, both. So in this 22 structure, upcoming will be one of your toughest innovation, and I have no freaking idea how I'm actually going to pass every model, but I definitely want and have the interest and have my mindset in game. And the very first game I actually touched with 3D is IMBU. Believe me or not, is IMBU Pirates Online, which is a 2D game. 2D or 3D, I'm not sure. That's the first Marology, and number 3 will be Club Penguin Rewritten, and the original Club Penguin from Disney. So these 3 counterparts is actually what drove me into Ubisoft games and drove me into finding very valuable jobs in Ubisoft as a game tester before, but now I want to convert myself into working with Ubisoft as a full time. But definitely I need to upgrade my skills first, and then within the next 6 months to next year, if the graduate program is back on, there will be a lot of people going in. Definitely I'll be the first one to active and apply, so hopefully I can get myself a slot in this graduate program, and I hope I can pass. So guys, wish me good luck. And I don't know how I'm actually feel. I want to, but I feel like there's a lot of things to learn, and I am very very impressed that Ubisoft has been with us for many years, and I love Ubisoft. And I'm not saying I love Ubisoft as a company, but I love Ubisoft titles as a game company, as a game designer, as a game development. And the Far Cry franchise and Assassin's Creed they brought to us is very good. And do keep in mind, Ubisoft also promote free games sometimes in the Uplay active account. If you go on Uplay or Ubisoft Free, you'll be able to find out some serious thing, like for example free Assassin's Creed, Black Flag, Rogue, and Unity. And Epic Games Store sometimes also have a Ubisoft title. You can go ahead and grab a copy of that. And yeah, that's about it, I guess. And just last video and sign off. I think you guys will be happy to see this.
hard workers.
Dreams. We do dreams. Go big or go home. We share a lot.
Crazy people.
Warriors. Pioneers.
Creative geniuses. Borderline insane. Party animals. Freedom of expression. Mind-blowing. Relieved.
I can't describe the feeling. I have no words for it.
Over the moon.
Tired. Definitely tired.
I feel proud.
So thank you Ubisoft for being with us for many years, and till next time I join you, and hopefully it's a full-time job with Ubisoft or at least graduate program with them. So I hope Ubisoft give me the opportunity to work with them. So that's about it, and uh I hope you guys have a better understanding why I decided to like move forward to game specialist, and this is why I actually pushing my own limit into Ubisoft like serious infrastructure, like where they go. That's the game company that I actually been crashing on for many years, and it's very hard pain to see that they actually didn't select me previously. But I hope in the nearest future, when I finish my graduate program with the game specialist, I can join Ubisoft. That's all I can say. And thank you very much, guys. And do catch a video on actually I make is how to prepare for the virtual learning class for the game specialist, but uh is on my own opinion, my own term, I decided to make this video. So please enjoy, have fun, and see you guys. Bye.